In May of 2019, I was in Philadelphia with my boyfriend, and we were looking at apartments and the school I would be working at. I had graduated from University of Miami a couple of weeks earlier and was going to be a second grade teacher for Teach for America. And that morning, sitting in the passenger seat of my boyfriend's car, an object flew through the windshield and hit me in the face. So I lost my sight and smell immediately upon impact and was airlifted to Jefferson Memorial Hospital, where I spent 2 weeks in the ICU. And for one of those weeks, I was on a breathing tube. And I had lost my sight and smell immediately upon impact. It was definitely really hard to understand, especially because it felt like I lost a large part of my identity. There were a lot of questions I didn't have answers to, like how this random accident could happen to me or why it did. But after going to the Miami Lighthouse in meeting Virginia for the first time, she answered a lot of my questions, and I started taking classes with instructors there and learning how to walk with my cane and use technology and read and write in Braille. So they definitely helped me understand that it is still possible to see without sight, as their slogan is. You just need different tools and accommodations to do it. The Lighthouse really became my resource for understanding everything after the accident. My family and boyfriend and friends were as supportive as they could be, and I'm so grateful to them. But of course, there were aspects of this new life that they couldn't understand. So being able to go to the Miami Lighthouse and speak to the instructors there and also the other clients was definitely very beneficial for me learning how to be someone with a visual impairment, but also learning how to cope with that change. The Miami Lighthouse helped me a lot, and they actually had me featured in the Wall Street Journal on February 13th, 2020, where the photo was posted exhibiting the skills I'd learned in my mobility classes. And that definitely was a big step forward because it made me realize that the journey I was going on was something a lot of people in the world are going through. So if anything, I think working with the instructors at the Lighthouse and going there for my classes has inspired me to maybe want to take my teaching career in a different direction and focus on people who go through the same everyday issues that I do as someone with a visual impairment. I think that in these past few months, I've really started to realize that facilities like the Miami Lighthouse are vital. You have so many people who need help understanding how to be independent and successful, especially when you have a visual impairment. So having somewhere like the Lighthouse to go and take classes and be supported socially and educationally, you can't put a price on that. And the greatest part is that so many people in the Miami-Dade area have access to the Miami Lighthouse at no cost to them. So it's just a great way to learn and grow. And I think that the Miami Lighthouse is really special because we're not only integrating children with visual impairments in a classroom setting, but we're doing it with students who can act as a role model and show them how to socialize with kids who don't have visual impairments. And I think that being able to expand the grades that the Miami Lighthouse offers is just being able to stand alongside these kids in the most important years of their development and really help them grow and learn, which is very important. I think it's important to support causes such as the Miami Lighthouse because the Miami Lighthouse stands as a facility that wants to help people who really need help, but also help people who don't understand what that necessarily entails. I think one of the hardest parts about losing your sight is that there are so many questions you don't have answers to. Some of the doctors don't have answers to because no one can understand what it truly means to be blind without, enduring it or watching a loved one go through it or learning how to take care of someone with that impairment. So fortunately for myself and so many other clients at the Lighthouse, we had a place that we got to call our second home, that we got to go and ask the questions no one had answers to, and have people tell us that they've succeeded in their lives with a visual impairment think we kind of all owe it to each other to help people when they need it. And the Miami Lighthouse stands to do that. So I support them fully, and I'm grateful that I had their help and assistance.